What is good, my people? We are back again with another gem listing. Today, we are doing something a little bit different. As you can see, it's not just going to be me talking today. We're going to be talking to the head honcho, you know what I'm saying, the big developer, you know what I'm saying, the owner and creator of Drip Network. You guys know I've been making a couple videos about Drip over the past couple weeks, and somebody from the Drip Network was actually able to set up this whole interview AMA thing with Forex Shark, which is the developer of it. I'm not getting paid to make any of these videos. Y'all know I simply just, it's something about the project. I personally like it. I see the sustainability. I see the sustainability with this project. They're not offering some crazy high APYs, some ridiculous return on investments. They're offering 1% a day, which of course can be compounded to be APY of around like $7,000 or $8,000 sorry, not dollars. But I personally, I don't know, I personally like it. So that's why I've been making a bunch of videos about it. And when the person that's in Drip that has connections to the owner hit me up and said I could set up an interview, I was like, hey, might as well go for it. We all have a bunch of questions. I have a bunch of questions. I asked you guys a couple videos ago what questions you guys would want me to ask the owner, because I knew he was going to do it, and you guys dropped questions down below, so I'm going to be hitting them with them. I'm going to hit them with all the hard questions. You know what I'm saying? Is Drip going to $1 million in 2 days? That's what we're going to ask them, because obviously a developer will know what the heck a price does. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing. They don't know what the price do. But we're going to ask them all the serious questions. I'm going to put timestamps throughout the video, so if you want to just jump to specific questions, because it's probably going to be a long interview, you can just go to the timestamps. Some of the questions that I'm going to be asking him is, how does this like differentiate from like a regular pyramid scheme? How where does he see Drip in 3 years? What price point does he see Drip reaching? Also, I'm going to ask him like what stuff he's excited about with Drip, because I do know they're releasing something very big tomorrow, which if you're in the community, everybody's saying it could make the price of Drip go very, very high, or kind of get boosted up. This is not financial advice. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. We're just friends, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, none of that. But I'm gonna ask him how all of that is, what he thinks the Manor farm, which is, I'm gonna ask him that question. Hopefully he's able to dive into what that is exactly. But how he thinks that'll affect the price of Drip, because that's what everybody thinks it will do tomorrow when it releases. So if you're looking to get into Drip, now's probably one of the better times. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not saying to do it. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying, be quiet. Anyways, also, if you want to get involved in Drip, I've made videos about it before. If you go to my first ever Drip video, you can go get involved in there. It's basically a platform that allows you to lock in a certain amount of money, whatever amount you want to put in there, and it pays you out 1% of that every single day, which you can either claim and go buy Chipotle with it, or recompound that 1% on that day and earn more 1% the next day. But you do need a buddy or a referral to get onto the project. If you want to use mine, it's the link in the description. If not, you can use somebody else's. I'm not pressed. Do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually about to airdrop some people on my team, like $900 worth in like 2 hours. So yeah, I'm about to airdrop them. I do it every week, all the time. Honestly, I don't even claim any of the money from Drip. It's just very easy for me to send you guys money. So that's what I do with my team. If you want to hop on there, but you can obviously hop on other people's team. It doesn't matter to me, but you do need somebody to get onto the protocol. And like I said, if you need help on getting onto it, watch my first video on Drip. And yeah, smash the like button if you're excited for this. And let's hop right into this movie, man. All right, so we are here with Mr. Forex Shark himself, the creator, correct, of Drip?
Yep, I'm the creator, I'm the developer. I have a partner who's also a developer. And yep, we created Drip. We launched it about 9 months ago, and it's going amazing. That's
great. That's great. So, like I said before, this is my first time ever doing one of these type interviews or stuff like that. But I do have a few questions here from the community overall. I think I only have around 1 or 2 questions that I myself had thought of. Most of it is just questions that I wanted people to kind of be able to have an input in this. It's awesome for me to be able to talk to the developer of the person through this project, so I can even clarify for new people that might not know what Drip is or might be kind of on the edge with Drip. So I guess the first question I could ask you is, how did you kind of think of this system? How did you come up with this project or protocol, you and your partner, of course?
All right, when I look to create something, I look for current problems or current pools of demand that aren't being addressed. And when I looked at the crypto space, I saw that there was a ton of demand for platforms that pay out a daily ROI, but none of them were doing it in a way that was sustainable or was fair and truly decentralized. So I developed Drip to be the first high-performing, truly decentralized daily ROI platform that pays out the rewards through a tax protocol that incentivizes people to do positive actions in the system, like buying and staking, and the ROI is paid out through a value transfer from people that are doing what we call negative actions, which are essentially, scalping it,
Uh-huh.
trying to dump on the market, that kind of thing. So instead of doing it through inflation, like all the other daily ROI platforms do, just essentially creating
Hmm.
or minting tokens out of thin air, diluting the whole supply and diluting the holders, we're doing it in a way where it's actually a deflationary asset. So you're getting paid a token that is also reducing in supply, which is why we've seen such a huge price appreciation since launch, and over 90% of our tokens are locked up and removed from circulation. So the primary motive was looking at a problem that we saw that if we solved it would create a immediate and large pool of demand and addressing that, and that's what we did with Drip.
Uh-huh. And where'd the whole referral system kind of come from, making it where people can't come in it by themselves? They have to have somebody under them. How'd that come along?
All right, so referral systems, we know that works. That's been working in traditional markets for a very long time. We saw that there were some other protocols in crypto that had referral systems, but they were done in ways that people could do things such as self-referring to leech the system,
Uh-huh.
or they were set up in a structure where it funneled all of the commissions to the top. So we wanted to do a referral program because we know that they're extremely beneficial to the growth of the platform, but we wanted to design it in a way that is sustainable and fair.
Hmm.
So the way that we did it, right, to ensure that everybody could be at the top of their own team essentially, is using a round robin system that stops every 15 levels. So essentially everybody can be at the top of their own team. When someone does a positive action on the team, which is a deposit or a compounding their rewards back into their deposit, it looks up chain. It looks who in the referral line above me was the last person to get a bonus. If they were the last person to get a bonus, go to the person above them. And due to this, only one person per positive action gets the bonus, and everybody, no matter how high you are up in the upline, no matter how early you got in, gets the same commission.
Uh-huh.
So in this sense, we've prevented all of the rewards from being funneled up to the top, and we've created a system where everybody has an equal opportunity to earn bonuses, no matter when you get in, or bonuses, commission, whatever you want to call it. And in fact, if a person has 5 or more direct referrals, instead of getting that full 100% commission, they get 75%, and the other 25% is kicked back down to their downlines. So it's even more fair than a structure where it would be, a direct and immediate distribution to all uplines. It's actually, people that have larger teams are sharing even more with their downlines
Uh-huh.
than people that have grown small teams have gotten in early. So we wanted to have a referral system because we know this works in crypto, but we didn't want it to be um, a system where it could be leached by
Hmm.
self-referring to earn the bonuses, and this is done by the tax that people pay, the tax that is on all transactions except for buys and compounding, that goes towards the pool which pays out the ROI,
Uh-huh.
is higher than the commission you would make if you self-referred.
Okay.
So it's a system that doesn't allow people to leech from the system to self-refer, and if you try to self-refer to game the system, you'll end up paying more in taxes than you would if you grow it a legitimate team. And it's a system where everybody can be at the top of their own team, and all the rewards don't get funneled up to the top. As soon as it hits that 15th level, it it recycles back down to the person that did the direct referral, and only one person gets a bonus per deposit.
Yes. So, I mean, what first drew me kind of to this project, I'm not sure if you'd watched the first video I put out about it, but I kind of started looking into the project when people started commenting on my videos talking about check out Drip, check out Drip. So I was like, I'll check it out. I really didn't know much about it when I was first checking it out, but then obviously being inside of it, and I have to say the community on Drip is probably one of the nicest communities I've ever been a part of in the crypto space. I don't know if you're familiar with the other crypto has a lot of toxic people in it. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you go to these other discords in crypto and stuff like that, people are, I don't know. It's just they just horrible people. But Drip, honestly, being inside of Telegram, I told my viewers I was in Telegram and kind of just like vibing in there, and everybody in there is like mad nice. Even after I made the first video, people were kind of hitting me up. They were being mad nice about it. But kind of like going back to what we were talking about with the whole referral system and everything like that. So me joining it, obviously I have a large viewing and a good amount of people that view my videos. So of course it was able to build up my team a lot faster than the usual person. And a lot of questions that I get from people is like, oh, you have all these viewers, it's super easy for you to build your team and build the deposits that you have in there. But how beneficial is it if you don't refer? Or do you know people that have been successful that they don't have a huge team? They maybe have 1, 2, 3 people in it, but they're compounding their daily rewards and they're still being compensated nicely for it over time, of course.
Oh, of course, because the system itself pays out 1% compoundable daily ROI. This is very powerful. Compound interest is has an exponential growth curve. So people look at 1% daily ROI and might compare it to some other platforms like a Sushi Swap clone or something like this. Some of these yield farms that are paying out, it could say, whatever, 500,000 APY, right? But what they're not realizing is that 500,000 APY that these projects are claiming are created by inflating the token at such a rate that you're diluting the supply and the price is just crashing as this APY is being paid out, so it's never realized profit.
Yeah.
Wherein with Drip, we have the 1% daily compound ROI, where if you compound every day, it ends up being, thousands, like 4,000, 5,000 APY, and it's actually sustainable because of the tax system, which isn't paying out this ROI through inflating the supply. It's paying it by locking up the token every time someone does a transaction and then distributing this in a way that is limited to not allow for people who do grow these large teams to compound their team commissions exponentially. And this is done through what we call a max payout. And the max payout currently is 100,000 Drip. So if someone earns 100,000 Drip, which is a lot of money, it's
I had done the math on it
like,
before. I think it was like right now like $7 million or something like that, or 8 million, something like that.
Yeah, it's higher than that now, but yeah, it's way up there. The reason why it's higher than that now is because we have people adding a ton of liquidity right now. So we have over $15 million worth of liquidity just on PancakeSwap, and another like 12 million on our native DEX. So the last time you checked, there was probably a lot less liquidity than there is now. So that would be the difference. But yeah, so it's about $7 million, and the way so when someone hits this max payout, of course they could then start claiming. You can claim at any time, but your principal is locked. When you compound, this is put back into your principal, and now you start getting paid out 1% a day available based on your balance. So only a limited amount is claimable at any one given time, which prevents anybody from withdrawing a very large amount and selling a very large amount at once.
Yeah.
And then the max payout at 100K, essentially it doesn't force somebody from setting up a new wallet, but when you set up a new wallet, you're not going to have that full team structure under you that you're making the commission off of.
Yeah.
So it doesn't prevent people from earning as much as they want to earn into the future in the system. It just prevents people who have very large teams from compounding indefinitely the commissions that they're earning from those teams. And this is one of the ways we keep it sustainable, and we create a power balance between the people that are making the daily ROI from just compounding and just depositing, earning that 1% daily ROI, and the people that are making it from compounding the daily ROI plus team building.
Yeah.
On top of this, if you join an active team, like I said earlier, people that have 5 or more direct referrals, 25% of their commission goes down to their downline. So just by joining an active team, you're going to be making commission from your upline. Um, so joining an active team itself can help you earn commissions.
Yeah.
And there are also some team structures that the way they've structured their team is in a way that helps new people joining the system to earn referrals. For example, they might have a structure where you join, you get onto a team, and you're directed to join under a specific person on the team. And then when two more people come on, the next person that comes on will now go under you. So people have developed these systems to help allow for new people coming on to get referrals. I would say if you're not sure how to get referrals, and you've seen this in our Telegram chat, there's people that are extremely helpful. And one of the things that drives people to be helpful is because they know if a new person comes on and you help them get set up and you answer a few questions for them, when it's time for them to deposit, they're going to need a buddy, and you're right there for them. You just help them get onboarded. You can help them with that. We also have a tech support channel that is specifically for helping people that are trying to figure out issues. There's a lot of people that are active on there, getting a ton of referrals. And then I would say another very easy way to get referrals, if you're not an influencer, but you speak some secondary language or you're part of another community outside of crypto, is to take the announcements made by the team and made by me and translating them to your native language and putting them in your communities, in your native communities, with your referral link. And that way you're getting exposure to a
whole new audience,
a market of people, an audience that are not being directly reached by us. So there's a lot of ways that people can grow their team that do not rely on having a massive audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess that's another, because people have that. I get that question all the time. It's like, oh, you have all these followers, so it's easy for you to build up a team. But like he's saying here, you don't need. First of all, like we were saying in the beginning, you don't technically need a team to be profitable in this. You're gonna make the crazy high APYs that could be comparable to like Olympus DAO or something like that through the 1%. Yeah, the difference with this is that's why I personally like it, because it's like, you know, they have this saying, a project that seems too good to be true is probably not. It's probably not true. There's something off about it. So when you see these crazy high APYs, I've made videos about these DAOs that have 1 billion% APY. It's not sustainable at all. But 1% is pretty sustainable, and the tokenomics behind this, that's what, like I said, that's what really drove me towards this project. It just seems so smart to me. It's like, it's stopping people that have a bunch of money from being able to sell off so much of it at a time, but they're still able to make money on it. And new people that's coming in that might not have that much money, they're still able to build a mass amount of profits through this, just with patience and compounding it and taking your time. Even if you don't have a big following, like he's saying, you could be working with just yourself and using that 1% daily and compounding until you build it up to a sustainable thing where you think, okay, maybe one day out of the week I'll take profit on this and go buy myself some Chipotle or something like that, and then I'll go compound the rest of it, whatever it is to you. So it's not a thing where you need a huge team or really a team at all. Of course, that can help boost your profits. If you want to put your family on, like you see us working for you, it's like you're making a couple extra bucks every single month. You see us working for you, you obviously could put your family on and your friends on, and they could be under your team, so to say. But it is something that you can go solo dolo on it.
And when people get active, they realize real quick that it's not some like big effort to create a team, and it's fun to create a team. And you see people start off saying, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to create a team. I want to get involved." And like a week later, they're posting their, their videos. They're a new YouTuber. Like all of a sudden, they're making Medium articles. So people, once they get their feet wet and they start to learn about the system, you see they get a lot more active.
Yeah, so kind of moving on from this. First of all, I just got to put this out there because people's going to automatically think you paid me. Did you pay me to do any of this or say any of this?
No.
This is the first time we talked ever. This is the first time I'm hearing this man's voice. Nobody paid me. I just personally enjoyed the project, and I personally think I think it's cool that I have the platform where I'm able to go and talk to the people that actually develop these huge platforms. Like I said, this is the first one I've ever done, kind of like an interview with like a developer or a creator of a project. But hopefully I'll be doing some more in the future. But moving on to
You're doing a major service. You're doing a major service to your community, telling them about great projects. And my buddy Ray reached out to me when you made your first video, Bartertown Conglomerate Ray. And he was like, "Hey, Juba just did a video. And, check it out." I checked it out. He was like, I know him. Maybe we could link you guys up. He linked us up, and we're doing it.
That's exactly how it happened. Like I told you guys, the drip community is actually mad cool. Like the dude he was talking about, Bartertown, he hit me up and was like, "Oh, it'd be cool if you did an interview with Forex Shark, and it could be beneficial to your community." I was like, "Hey, gotta do it, gotta try it." But back to the questions, just real quick, because this is another question I get all the time. Why wouldn't this be considered like a pyramid scheme? Now, your name is Forex, and people know Forex is like MLM, or is that what it's called, MLM or IML? Whatever it is, but it's like a whole referring thing.
Direct marketing, whatever. Yeah. So Forex, this is the thing. So, people put a bad name on Forex because everybody's out there selling their garbage, automatic trading systems and all this stuff. Forex just stands for
foreign exchange market. Yeah. Now I tell people all the time, Forex is if you get good at it. I used to do it, and I was pretty good at it, but then I kind of got into crypto more so. But Forex is not a scam at all. It's not a referral thing. It's just trading the markets, just like you're trading stocks.
It's the largest market in the world.
100%.
I got into trading Forex early on because I was developing my own systems as a programmer and as a developer. And then, of course, crypto is where a lot of the money is. So I migrated over to crypto. Yeah. But I've been working in the space, the crypto space, since 2012, very early on with Bitcoin, helping a sports book set up their Bitcoin payment portal when they lost their payment processor. So I've been working in the crypto space for a long time. I would say what makes it different from a pyramid scheme or multi-level marketing is the fact that there is no increased commission structure where the earlier you get in and the higher you up on the commission ladder, the larger commission you get. Everybody gets the same commission unless you have 5 or more directs, in which case
you get less.
You make 20% less, and that goes back to your downlines. So it's actually a system where the rewards are flowing downline, not upline, when you grow larger teams. It's also a structure, like I was saying earlier, where only one person gets paid per deposit. So multi-level marketing systems have a structure where when someone does a deposit or someone does a purchase, that commission is then spread through the upline, where the person above might make 2%, the person above them might make 4%, 6%, all the way up. Where in this case, it's one person gets rewarded every time there is a deposit or compound, similar to an Amazon referral. Someone uses your link to make a purchase, you get rewarded. One person gets rewarded. It's the same exact kind of structure that Amazon uses, or eBay, or any of these major companies that have referral structures. We've just created an innovative way to allow people to build a team structure around it that's fair and that's sustainable. And really, the way we were able to do this is through the the innovations that DeFi has brought us. So we're using the same kind of referral structure that major companies use that aren't MLMs or whatever you want to call them. But we've just done it in a way that spreads out those commissions, spreads out their rewards in in even more decentralized manner. So
Yeah.
instead of it just going to the person who did that initial referral, it goes to the person that did the initial referral the first time, and then if that person that just triggered that referral does another deposit or does a compound, now it goes up the line to the person above them. So really, it does benefit you to grow a large team, because the larger your team, the more often it is in your turn in the upline to get that bonus. But it's not a pyramid structure where the higher you up,
The
the
more
more
you make.
commissions you get, or your everybody gets a share of every purchase that goes in. All right, so that's one part of it. Another
Mhm.
part of it is that the teams reset every 15 levels. You can only have a max amount of 15 downlines. This means that this round robin system that pays one person at a time, when it gets 15 levels up, it recircles back down to the person who did the direct referral.
Uh-huh.
So this stops the commissions from being funneled up to the top of the system. So everybody can be at the top of their own team. And then I would say the third part of this is that we don't pretend that we are selling some product or service, right? Where the majority of the profit is coming from selling people on selling, but we're hiding behind the product or service that some cheap product or service that no one wants.
Mhm.
That's generally how multi-level markets work. They'll sell some some soap or like lotion products, or whatever the case may be, some cheap low level product,
Uh-huh.
and the product is just kind of to get around regulation, but the whole profit is made by selling people selling packages. We don't do any of that. Our profit, the ROI that is being paid out through the system, is through our open source protocol that makes it very clear where it's coming from, and the products that we use to give a use case to Drip are through partnerships, and I could talk about some of those partnerships that we have lined up. And that's the partnerships are what give Drip a use case outside of the system.
Mhm.
But as far as where the ROI comes from in the system, that's all made clear through our open source contracts that everybody can see. Now the dev wallet, which is the wallet that started it, because everybody needed a buddy. Everybody needs someone that referred them to get into the system.
Yeah.
So there needed to be that starting wallet to get. So the initial people that joined had someone to use as their buddy. Is the developer wallet. Now the developer wallet, any commission that goes to the developer wallet gets automatically sent to the tax pool, and this is locked up, used to pay out dividends. So there
Yeah.
is no developer fee at all in the system. So that's another major thing that would separate us from any kind of like MLM or something like that,
Yeah.
where the person who created it is getting the bulk of the reward. In this case, there is no developer fee, and all the commission that goes to the deployer wallet gets sent to the tax pool, and we monetize the platform through other methods, and I could get into how we monetize it through other methods, but it's not through any kind of developer fee.
Yeah, so I mean, that's going on to my next question just really quickly because I don't want to take too much of your time. Are there any other generating activities that you guys are doing besides relying on the taxes slash transactions that can help
Yep,
sustain the rate of return of these investments to 1% every day?
yep. So tomorrow we have the Manor farm, which is the first fully decentralized lending protocol that allows people to lend their crypto to a decentralized exchange, where they'll then use that crypto to make the market, right, to add to the order books
Hmm.
for an additional 30 to 40% APY. Now, in this space, 30 to 40% APY doesn't sound like a lot, but the reality is that we're going to get tens of millions of dollars, right? If not hundreds or billions of dollars locked up in this protocol that we're making 30 to 40% APY at low risk, because the first DEX we're working with is Pancake Swap.
Uh-huh.
So it's as low risk as it can be, and it allows us to generate a ton of capital, right? 40% of all the capital locked up, we make that every single year from an outside cash flow coming from lending our collateral to PancakeSwap to make a market. And PancakeSwap is the first we'll be working with, but we have more lined up in the future. Another way that we're creating utility and additional cash flows for Drip is through our partnerships. Now we have a partnership with BetFury in the works. They're actually developing a game specifically for Drip on their platform that you can only play if you have the Drip token.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, you'll be able to use Drip on their other games as well. And when you use Drip on their platform, you get paid out in the Drip for the BetFury token. So not only is it another awesome use case and a huge co-promotion because BetFury is one of the largest casinos in crypto, it's also um, it's also going to be paying users for utilizing the Drip token on their platform, paying them in the BetFury token. We have a partnership with a licensing company called Current that has 7, pretty large celebrities already licensed to provide NFTs and do an NFT deployment on their platform. And the way it works is when people buy their NFTs with BNB or BUSD, it takes that BUSD or BNB, buys Drip with it, stakes it in the faucet, which is our staking protocol to make the daily ROI, and then these NFTs pay out a quarterly reward, and this reward is being powered and generated through the Drip platform. So we have 3 or 4 large development teams on top of the ones that I just listed that are all building platforms that either use Drip as a reserve currency, provide some new use case for it. There's a poker platform which is currently doing poker tournaments in Drip. So we have a ton of different use cases, utility, and cash flows which are being used to provide utility for Drip and also to provide outside forms of cash streams coming into the Drip platform and buying the Drip token.
To be able to still be able to pay out these the 1% to everybody. Yeah. So
and also the way that our team building structure works is the way. So it's a massively powered team building structure where it snowballs, where you get one person that invites a couple people, one of them invites a few people, and next thing you know, you have massive teams and a huge user base where we're tripling our user base every month, and the daily ROI is set up so it's always onboarding more capital and locking away more capital than what it's able to pay out. So it can be a system where it's just maintaining an equilibrium, or as we've seen over the past 9 months, appreciating in value greatly. All of our projections show that we're going to be appreciated greatly. And if you look at our TVL and our volume compared to other projects that are in the top 5 on DappRadar. DappRadar is a crypto ranking site for DeFi platforms. We're ranked number 2 on there for BSC, and we're ranked number 4 on there for DeFi on all networks. And if you look at our total locked value or our volume, we're not even 1/10 of the other projects in the top 5. But our growth analytics are so strong. We're onboarding so many new users that it overshadows our other values and gets us this high ranking. Now, it's only a matter of time before our volume and our TVL are on par with our peers in the top 10. And when this happens, we'll be a multi-$1,000 Drip. And this is just math, right?
Yeah.
This is if we get on par with even the project on the bottom 5, that's like a $3,000 Drip.
Yeah. So that kind of goes into my next question that I have. Where personally would you like to see Drip in, let's say, 3 years?
All right, so I want to see Drip in 3 years really outreaching outside of the US and Europe and providing use cases in countries that are not being serviced by proper banking, right? So we just had a major charity event in Cambodia where we were able to feed dozens of families. We paid for their whole Christmas. We got everything going. And we're using this as a promotional tool in these countries to help onboard their native users, um, specifically targeting the entrepreneurs in that space that see how we're able to help the less fortunate and the poorer people that are in need in their country, to show them we can provide a great utility and a great use case for their citizens, and they should get involved as well, because not only are they helping their citizens, they're also allowing for a proper banking structure in their company and making profit themselves.
Uh-huh.
So right now we have about 85% of our user base in the US. We just structured a deal with a management company called Focus Visual. They manage influencers in Latin America specifically. They have multiple streamers that have millions and millions of followers. We have one of them doing the first promotion tomorrow. He has 2.8 million followers on his various social medias, and he's a Spanish speaking influencer that is big in Colombia and Brazil, and we're focusing, uh, specifically on targeting communities outside of the U.S. now, because we see a major market there that is being untapped, and we know that systems that have a strong referral protocol can really blow up in these communities.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen in China and India in a major way with some of these projects that were less sustainable and less decentralized. So our model, as far as onboarding team building, is stronger than theirs. Plus, we're building and we have a high performing but sustainable system that's truly fair and doesn't put the power in the hands of the people that got in early and created it. So that's where I see us going. I see us being the reserve currency of multiple dozens and dozens of projects. We'll already have that by the end of the year. At least 5 projects that will be used as a reserve currency or as a utility on their platform. Actually, more like in the next couple months,
Uh-huh.
we'll have that, and we're really focusing on hitting these communities and these markets outside of the U.S. and working with different management firms, different marketing firms. And I see Drip. I don't like to make price predictions because I feel like making price predictions can limit growth,
Yeah.
because people see whatever the dev said as a price prediction, and then when it hits that, people think, oh, we hit.
Yeah, then sell off.
We
Yeah.
Yeah, we hit what we were supposed to hit. It's over now. But if I was to give a price prediction 8 months ago, the reason why I did it is because everybody was like, "Do you think we could hit $10? Do you think we could hit $15?" Right?
Yeah.
And now, now we're at whatever, we're at $82 now. And if I had said, "Yeah, we're gonna hit $20," when we hit $20, everybody would have felt like, "All right, the job is done. We hit
Yeah.
$20." So I don't like making price predictions, but like I said earlier, if you look at where we're ranked on DApp Radar, you look at our growth analytics. Our growth analytics are stronger than every other project in the top 5 in DeFi, but our total locked value and our volume are about a tenth of the size. If we get to just being on par with our peers in the top 5, that brings the price of Drip to between $3,000 and $5,000. And there's a lot of very smart people in our community that have done price projections that take us to, over that, around $5,000 to $8,000 by the end of 2022. And that is if we continue the pace that we're on now as far as growth.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons for that is because of our deflationary nature. So if we onboard 10 times more capital to our system, that doesn't mean the price is 10 times higher, because the supply is also reduced.
Yeah.
So, 10 times more capital to our system equals about 80 times more price appreciation. So it has this compounding effect that really allows the system to snowball and really grow. And we've seen that in the 9 months, and we get stronger and stronger and stronger as it goes, because that's how it's designed to be built. So, I just see massive, massive growth and an exponential spreading of markets that aren't being tapped, to give them the kind of financial freedom and financial products that they don't have access to, that we could provide and we could service.
Definitely. So yeah, that's another thing about the, like I was saying, the tokenomics have not only do they look good on paper, but they've actually been shown to work. I've been looking at the chart. I posted on my Instagram story a couple times, but it's like the whole market's down, right? Let's say Bitcoin is down 3, 4, 5%, and I look at the drip chart, and it's a steady. It's not a super high jump up or nothing like that. It's a steady incline up. It's holding its ground against the market fluctuations and stuff like that, and that's due to the tokenomics that's behind the drip token overall. And yeah, so I personally I'd agree with what you were saying. With if we were to keep on that same path, they could see exponential growth inside the not just even the price of it, but even the people that are blessed by it and people that are able to profit off of it. But that kind of brings me to my next question, which is what, for you personally, what is one major improvement? Now, you said a couple of them. I can almost guess what you're probably going to say, but what's one major improvement that you're most excited for about Drip, let's say in the next couple months?
All right, there's a couple big things that we have in the works for Drip, right? So one thing that we have in the works for Drip is an NFT project that we have that is with one of the companies. I don't want to say their name yet. One of the platforms. They're on the ERC20 network. They're who I believe to be the most innovative NFT platform in crypto right now. And the deal that we're working on with them is to create the first cross-chain NFT protocol that provides utility for these NFTs on multiple chains and on multiple high-value platforms. So it will provide a use case for these NFTs in their metaverse, right, where the NFTs will be able to be used to play games, and these games are already active. This isn't one of these projects that
the game is launching.
Says they're going to develop stuff, and you know, who knows what's going to come or not. They are, you know, their project is doing extremely well, and it'll be early February when we announce, because we're going to do a big co-announcement with big marketing behind it and everything. But so the NFTs will be able to use on their metaverse to play their games, which will also pay them out a shared ownership of their platform for having the NFTs on their metaverse. And these same NFTs on the Binance Smart Chain can be staked on the Drip network. And remember I said that all of the Drip that goes to the dev wallet in the form of commissions right now gets locked away in the tax pool and is used to pay out daily ROI. A percentage of that will be diverted to a staking protocol that allows people to stake these NFTs to earn a portion of the Drip that's going to the deploy wallet, essentially making them a shared owner of the network. So these NFTs, the way it will work is there'll be a mint event where everybody will pay the same price and you won't know which NFT you got. Now, the rarity of the NFT you get will be partly based on luck and partly based on how much Drip you have staked in the platform. Now, so people will mint it all for the same price, and then we'll have a display event a week later where everybody will see which NFT they got, how rare it is versus how common it is. Then they can stake it cross-chain, both in Drip network and this other projects network on the ERC20 network, to get a shared ownership of both platforms, plus be able to access the games and these other platforms and do a lot more. So this is going to go a long way to decentralizing the ownership of the platform as a whole. I think that is awesome for sustainability and just the trustless, decentralized nature of the platform. I would say another thing that we're going to be implementing, you know, and it will be an improvement, is team competitions. So another use case for the Drip that goes to the deployer wallet will be utilized for team competitions. And the way this will go is, if you have a certain size team, you'll be able to give a name for your team that is saved on the blockchain. And instead of your referral address having your address there, it will have your team name. And now we'll have bi-weekly competitions with different goals. And the goal could be, you know, whoever does the most direct referrals that week wins. Whoever does the most, capital onboarding that week wins, etc.
Yeah.
Goals that grow the whole system and are beneficial for everybody. And at the end of the competition, we then airdrop a portion of those drip to the team leader who won the competition, who will then now airdrop it to his community based on how well the individuals of the community performed in the competition. So this is another awesome use case for that drip that is currently just being sent to the tax pool to help grow the system as a whole and really, help us incentivize marketing. And I'm sure I know part of the reason why you wanted to do this video is to bring this information to your community and to to help spread awareness about our project because you believe in it, but also of course you're being incentivized by the referral system. Like it is a way that we incentivize marketing that is merit based. So we're not just giving money to people and saying, here, promote us. They may promote us, they may not, they may just dump our token. We have our referral system set up so people are incentivized to market and they get paid for bringing capital on, in a way that is directly reflective of how much capital they were able to bring on and how much influence they have over their community. So this same system that influences YouTubers and people that get on will help power our onboarding. And I would say one more thing, since I know I read you wanted to ask 3 ways we could improve. So I would say a third way would be a bridge. So we've developed a bridge already. One of the things is we've developed a lot for drip that we're kind of staggering out because you don't want to hit everybody with everything at the same time. Because then these different utilities, they don't get the attention they deserve, and you're not able to properly educate the community on how they work. So it kind of gets lost in the sauce. But this bridge will allow people to spend tokens on other EVM chains. And when I say EVM, I mean basically everything that works with MetaMask. ETH,
AVAX, Phantom,
Polygon, all of these other networks. You'll be able to send those tokens like AVAX, Phantom, all these tokens, ETH, to the bridge. The bridge will buy the drip token and stake it for you, and will even give you a slight break on the tax for bridging it cross chain. So currently we have no tax at all if you buy on our native DEX. There is a tax if you buy on PancakeSwap, and this is to drive traffic to our native DEX. But essentially, all positive axes have a reduction on tax. If you're compounding, it's a 5%. If you're buying on our native DEX, there's no tax. If you buy a PancakeSwap, it's considered the same as any other transaction with a 10% tax. And 100% of this tax goes to paying out the ROI. It goes sent to the tax pool. The bridge will act as a DEX aggregator, and it will buy from whatever DEX has the lowest price. So this will allow you to save, to save and get the most drip for your money, taking into account price impact and slippage and tax to ensure it's giving you the best price. So I would say that's another major thing that will be coming in February or March. That's going to help us onboard a ton of capital from these other chains that are massive, right?
Yeah, so obviously you said a bunch of different things, and I definitely agree with the point that you said about you have all these different things in your back pocket, all these new innovations that you have in your back pocket that are sort of kind of ready to be released, but you don't want to release them all at the same time because that kind of softens all of them. Like, let's say you release all of them at the same time, they're not going to get the same exposure. People aren't going to appreciate them as much as if you just release one every 3 months or stuff like that. We had enough time to kind of not just hype up the release of it, but also educate people on how to properly use it to get the most out of each and every one of those things. So I definitely think that's smart. But moving on to the next question. So when you were talking about the different products that you were actually excited about in the near future, I really thought you was going to mention the Manor farm. But what is the Manor farm? So a lot of people ask you that. What's like a quick summary of it, just a quick breakdown of what is the Manor farm, and towards the end you can go and kind of say how you think it's going to affect the price of drip itself. How is it going to benefit drip overall?
Okay, yeah. So the only reason why I didn't mention the Manor farm when I listed those three is because I already brought up the Manor farm earlier, and I expected that we would be talking about the Manor farm. I'd have another chance to talk about it. And since I had three to list, I wanted to bring up three things that I hadn't mentioned yet that are also extremely exciting, right?
Yeah.
But the Manor farm is the first truly decentralized yield farm lending protocol that has 4 or 5 major innovations that we're bringing to the space to allow it to be the most sustainable, highest performing yield farm that is also the most decentralized and trustless, right? Because I feel like those go together, right? You don't if you're having the most sustainable, highest price performing, you also want these rewards to be distributed in a decentralized manner.
Yeah.
So the way that we developed it is through a 2-layer process. Right? We have layer 1, which is the Manor farm, which acts as essentially like a launch pad for a layer 2, which comes out 2 weeks later. L1 is fairly simple. We call it the Manor farm. The way it works is you can provide collateral in the form of liquidity tokens or individual crypto. You earn the Rev token. The Rev token can be staked in what we call the safe house, which is the single asset staking pool for the Rev token, which pays out in BUSD. So it's the first lending and farm protocol that allows you to earn BUSD without selling the underlying asset, which is the Rev token.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you wouldn't want to sell the Rev token is because it can be used in L2 14 days after the launch of L1 to get into the pre-sale at a 20% better exchange rate and not have a cap on it. So everybody who accumulates their Rev in L1 can now get into the L2 pre-sale, get a 20% more tokens for the same USD value as someone that got it with BUSD, and now they're getting in to L2, which has 2 tokens, the governance token and the form token, at the best possible rate. The reason why you would want to get into L2 immediately from the start at the best possible rate is because all of the value and all of the liquidity that has been accumulated in L1 now gets migrated over to L2 and paid out to the new owners of L2, which are the people that own the governance token. So essentially, we take the L1 model as a launch pad to raise that initial liquidity, and then all of that capital is then decentralized and put under the ownership of the new owners, who are the people that hold and stake the governance token, which is the pigs token.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the dog and we have the pigs token. Now, L2 also allows you to earn and remove risk from the table in the form of BUSD without selling the underlying asset. And the way this works is all of the deposit fees, which are paid for people that are entering the system, get converted to BUSD and paid out to the people who are the owners and stakers of the pig token. Also, all of that liquidity that is migrated over from L1 to L2 gets split up. 60% of it is paid out to the governance pool in the form of BUSD. This is going to be tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars that are paid out to the people that are in the governance pool. The other 40% gets split half and half. Half goes to buying the dog token, half goes to buying the pig token in the form of buybacks to help support and cause price appreciation in those tokens, regardless of the individual buying pressure of people that are buying the token on market. Now, on top of this, the only way that you can get the pig governance pool token is in the core pools, in the core farms, which is dog BUSD, dog BNB, and drip BUSD. So it provides that use case utility for the farm token, because as you farm the farm token, as you accumulate it, you can then use it to accumulate the governance token, which gives you a greater ownership of the platform as a whole and allows you to secure BUSD without actually selling the underlying asset. So both L1 and L2 allow you to secure profit and take risk off the table without actually selling the token. Now, the L2 has a few innovations that we developed which have never been done before, but are based in game theory that we know works. One of this is what we call our dynamic supply control algorithm. And what this does is it looks at the current demand for the token, whether it's at all-time high or all-time low, and it adjusts the emission rate based on where it is between all-time high and all-time low to control the supply side of the supply and demand calculation, which determines price, to allow for price appreciation no matter what the current demand is. On top of this, we do collateral rehypothecation, which is where the lending part of the yield farm lending platform comes into play. And this is taking all of the collateral that's staked in L1 and L2 and lending it to PancakeSwap to earn an additional 30 to 40% APY, which might not sound like a lot, 30 to 40% APY, but this is additional capital that's being earned on top of the huge APY that's being paid out in the Rev token and the Dog and Pig token. And this additional APY is being used directly to buy the Rev token and the Dog and Pig token from the market and remove it from circulation. So it's a way to create low risk additional capital and a low risk additional stream of income to buy these tokens and cause price appreciation agnostic from individuals buying the token. So both L1 and L2 do this, and it's truly designed to be the greatest price performing and decentralized lending platform yield farm protocol. So I'm extremely excited about this, and it's going to be massively beneficial for Drip, because Drip is the only non-core token that allows you to earn the Rev token on L1 without paying a deposit fee, and also the multiplier, meaning the amount of Rev you'll get per the amount of capital that you put in, is twice that of other pools. Now on L2, the Pig token, which is the governance token, is only paid out in the core pools, which is or the core farms, which is Pig, which is Dog BUSD and Dog BNB. Now Drip BUSD also allows you to earn the Pig token. So it's the only non-farm token and a deflationary asset that allows you to accumulate a greater share ownership of the network as a whole. So there's so much more to it, but I don't want to really get bogged into the details right now, especially when we've already talked so much about Drip and all these other things. So I would say people could go to themanor.farm, read the documentation there, and also click on the Telegram group there and join the Drip Telegram group, and you get a ton more information about it. But we're truly changing the game as far as yield farming and lending goes in a way that makes it more decentralized, more sustainable, and have greater price performance, the same as we did that with daily ROI platforms with Drip. And when you asked me what my motivation was for Drip, it was looking for problems in the space that when solved, create a massive demand and creating the solution in the form of a product. And that's what we do with Drip, and that's what we're doing with the Manor farm, which is L1, and the Animal farm, which is L2. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for Drip. We had a Drip game called the Drip Garden launch just 2 weeks ago, and we had $15 million of fresh capital come in on the launch of this alone. The yield farm lending protocol is, I don't even want to put a value on it, but 50 times larger, like bigger of a deal, way more marketing, way more utility, way more demand. Yield farm and lending platforms are the most utilized application in crypto. So this has way more of a mainstream appeal, and since we reward people at a greater rate for onboarding drip into the system than basically any of the other capital that they can use as collateral on the platform. It's a major incentive for people to buy, add liquidity, and lock up more drip. So, yeah, I have no doubt that we're gonna break all-time highs at the launch of this farm tomorrow, and where it takes us, you know, it's anybody's. Anybody can speculate on that. But what I do know is it's going to bring a ton of value and a ton of new capital and an awesome new use case into Drip.
Yeah. So you were kind of going a little technical towards the end when I think you had mentioned something out, and I didn't know what the heck it meant, but you kind of made it a lot simpler towards the end, and especially breaking down how beneficial to Drip, because one of the liquidity pools that you said will have zero tax on it, I believe you said zero tax, would be the Drip.
Zero tax, yep.
Yeah, the Drip BUSD pool, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's a huge. Yeah. So that's a huge incentive, because like you were saying, yield farming is an absolute monster of a area in the crypto space overall. So being able to provide that is definitely going to bring a huge use case to Drip itself, attracting more eyes to Drip itself.
And we tried to partner with other yield farms, and really, they just there aren't really yield farms out there that are trying to do it in a serious way that really solves issues in the space and really provides long-term price performance and stability. So after after endless negotiations and conversations with other platforms, we decided
just make your own.
Just like how we could have dealt with any of the other daily ROI platforms and built on top of it and done our thing. We decided we're gonna do it the right way, and we're gonna do it in-house, and we're gonna solve these issues in the space. We're doing the same thing with the Manor farm, and I expect it to be just as big, if not bigger, than Drip, because it has that more mainstream appeal than Drip does. But it's built on top of Drip, and it utilizes Drip in a way that it raises all ships. So capital coming in to the Manor farm is capital coming into Drip. And attention and marketing for the Manor farm is attention and marketing for Drip. So people notice the first project I ever launched was called Reap. I launched it about 2 years ago. It just hit all-time highs last week, right? And it hit all-time highs 17,000% from listing price. My other project, B-Reap, right, which was a fork of Reap, which is tied into the Drip ecosystem, that is at all-time highs right now, and it's up like 4,000% from listing. So people worry because they see other developers launch a new project and they kind of move on from the old projects. The old projects kind of fizzle out. I never do that. When I build a new project, it's always
on top of the other ones.
How can this project be added to the existing ecosystem to make the whole network better and build up the whole network? And whenever I launch something, it's always with the thought of, if I build this, can I continue to build onto it in the future to really build up the whole ecosystem? And that's the same with Drip and the Manor farm and L2, which is the Manor farm.
Yeah, so that sounds great. And I love the concept that you're kind of going with, where when you build something, you want it to raise up everything else you've built. It's not like you're building all these different things. And that is a big problem that I feel like a lot of people have. They start a bunch of projects, and the project that was before the product they just started now dies away because they're not putting attention on it anymore. But what you're saying is you're kind of building on top of your projects, therefore making your previous projects come up with it. It's like it's a whole team that's being brought up with these new projects when the new projects excel.
It adds new utility, brings more forms of cash flow into them, more attention into them, and raises up that locked up value. There's very few developers that have projects that are 2 years old that are still hitting all-time highs to this day, while they've developed two or three other projects after that as well, and all of them are hitting all-time high at the same time. That's very rare in the space, and that's something that we put a lot of focus into.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, you really summed the Manor farm up a lot easier than he was kind of in the beginning. I'm not a developer. I don't know any type of coding. I just know certain things in the crypto space. So certain trigger words you were saying, it kind of hit me. But then you were saying something about some aggravated something, and I was like, I don't know what the heck it is.
So the dynamic supply control algorithm, and all this means is the rewards that are paid out through emitting the token are adjustable based on the demand for the token.
So it's not
as
pegged,
the token,
it's not a pegged reward system.
It's not a set rate per block, and we're the only platform to do that. So what that means is when we're at all-time highs, we can allow for the supply to grow a little bit to pay out a higher reward, which in turn makes farming more attractive. But then if we have a price correction and that demand has gone down a bit, we can now restrict the supply a bit by reducing the emission rate, and now it becomes a deflationary asset, and it allows for the current demand to cause price appreciation. Now there's nothing that's better for marketing than price appreciation. That new capital comes in, we hit all-time highs again. The supply control algorithm adjusts the emission rate to go back up, and now the incentive for people that just bought the token to put it into the farm are even higher, and it has this positive feedback loop to always allow for price appreciation no matter what the demand is. And then when that demand is then raised through price appreciation and through the deflationary aspect of the token, it now raises the rewards for people that are involved and attracts more farmers. So it's it's a major innovation in the space, and that I would say that on top of the collateral rehypothecation, where we're taking all the collateral that's locked up in the platform and lending it out in a low risk way to PancakeSwap to earn an additional 30-40% APY on hundreds of millions of dollars. That's tens of millions of dollars in profit alone every year, which we go directly just to buying the token and removing it from circulation. Where we're creating all of these cash flows that are buying the token and removing it from circulation, independent of individuals buying, and we're removing all the incentive for selling, because you can take profit in the form of BUSD without selling the underlying asset in the form of both the safe house in L1 and the governance pool in L2. So we're aligning all our ducks to incentivize people to buy and hold and not to sell by accumulating their share ownership of the platform, which raises the amount of BUSD they earn without needing to sell the underlying tokens. And then we're creating all these additional cash flows, which are bringing capital in to buy the token, which helps with price appreciation and price support, independent of individual people buying. So it's like we're addressing the supply side of things through the supply control algorithm, and the additional streams of cash flow, which are coming in buying the token, removing it from circulation, and we're addressing the demand side of things by our referral programs, because there's a referral program as well tied into the platform, as well as always allowing for price appreciation given the demand, and there's nothing that makes people more excited than price appreciation. And on top of this, all the utility and all of the innovations that we brought in that also cause demand. We also have a consistent marketing budget. So 15% of the deposit fees, which are paid on both L1 and L2, is a marketing budget, which will always allow us to have some capital to pay for ads to go up, to pay for audits and further development. And speaking of audits, we just had our Paladin audit published yesterday. Paladin is the top tier auditing company in crypto, and we had 0 issues. So we passed it with the highest possible score you could pass, which is really big. You can't get bigger as far as auditing with Paladin.
That's really good. I think I saw that on your Twitter as well. Everybody should go follow the Twitter as well to stay updated with everything. So now I'm gonna just throw out a bunch of questions. These are more easy questions that could really just be answered in like a sentence. Just some questions that people had that's kind of already in Drip. More so utility side of it. They just want to know certain mechanics that might be added to the dashboard of Drip, the Drip faucet and everything like that. So the first question is, you had mentioned earlier when we were talking that there is the 100,000 drip token max payout, as in once you reach that, then you're kind of done. It doesn't generate any more money. Will that always be a thing? Do you think you're going to keep it the same number, make it less, make it more? What are your thoughts on it or plans?
No, that is hard coded into the system. So there are specific values that are immutable. And the reason why it's important to make some of the values immutable is because this is a system where when people deposit, their principal is locked up.
Yeah.
Now they're making 1% on their principal available. So they need to be able to get into a system with confidence that it won't change once they have their principal.
Yeah, very
locked
true.
up.
Yeah, so that's
certain
not gonna
values,
move.
like the max payout and the tax on transaction, all that stuff, that's immutable. That cannot be changed.
Got you. So the next question would be: are there any? Because another, like, one of the main reasons, not main reasons, but a big reason why I personally like drip overall is that it's kind of a way for me to give back. And like you were saying, there is incentive for me to, of course, make videos about drip and promote it. But I personally, I've never taken any profit on drip. I've never made any money, technically made any money on drip. I've compounded maybe like 3 or 4 times. I really just do the airdropping. I like being able to have people under me. That's simple for me to be able to give, like, not really giveaways, but kind of give back to people that kind of watch my videos and stuff like that. So that's why I really have not done anything with the money except for the airdrops. But one issue that has been going on with the airdrops is, not issue, it makes it a lot more time consuming, is you have to kind of approve every single transaction individually. So is there plans to make it easier to send out airdrops with just like one approval of a transaction, or will it always have to, is it always kind of hard coded in there where you have to individually approve every single one of them?
No, that is absolutely possible to be able to do it. So so with our team airdrop system, it has a filter structure where you can put in who you want on your team to get the airdrop based on, how many direct referrals they did, how positive they are, meaning how much they've deposited versus how much they've claimed, how many people are in their downline, how much they've deposited. There are all these filters that you can set to make it very easy to reward the people on your team that are doing actions that you want them to do. Now, once you hit the button that filters out the people that you want to get the airdrop, currently now you have to approve each person that you send the airdrop to. Now, it is possible for us to set it up so once you have that list, you can approve one transaction and have it all sent out in one transaction. That is possible, and we do have a plan to upgrade it in this way, and we're going to do it all at the same time. So those team competitions I spoke about, where teams can compete with each other to earn rewards in the form of drip, and then the team leader can airdrop it to their team. This involves us making an update to this this team system to allow people to put their names in it. When we make that update, we're also going to update it so people can make one approval and send it all at once. And also, on top of this, for people that don't understand how the airdrop system works, there's a lot of projects where they have airdrops where essentially they give out tokens, and these tokens now get dumped on the market because they're just sending the tokens out for free to people.
Yeah.
Where in our system, when you send an airdrop, it's being sent out in their stake. So that becomes their locked principal that they can make 1% daily ROI off of, but they can't just immediately dump it on the market.
Yeah.
So it gets them active. It's an airdrop in a way that ensures that they become an active user of the platform.
Yeah.
So yes, that 100% can be done, and we do have plans to do it. We have all these other things like the Manor farms launching tomorrow. We have all these things in the works, but so we plan on making that update when we update the whole team structure to do the team competitions as well. So I would say look for that to come in. I would say mid-February or March. We have events planned with partnerships, development being pushed in the bridge and the NFTs, and all of these things in the works going out 6 or 7 months. At least 1 or 2 major events for like 6 or 7 months. So
that's really good. Yeah,
that can happen, and it will happen.
All right, bet. Because that's like I said. I think that was one of my questions. I mentioned in the beginning I didn't have that many questions. But that was one of my questions because every time I'm doing the airdrops, it's like I'm sitting there for like 20 minutes, sending it to 50 different people. I'm like, oh man, this is taking forever.
Yeah.
But
Well, that worked well at first because the teams were relatively small. But now that the teams are getting so huge, we realized we got to make it more streamlined.
So I'm glad that that's coming out. So another question that I have here, just another fast one, is are there any plans to add an option to be able to auto compound your drip, as far as the 1% just gets put into your holdings? It gets put into your what is it? Oh, I can't remember it, but it just automatically.
Your balance.
My balance. So an option for it. It doesn't have to be like everybody. It's going to automatically compound, because obviously once it's in your balance, you can't unstake it. You can't take it out. But I think it would be nice for people to have an option to be able to click and be like, okay, for this week, I'm going to click and have it auto compound for the entire week. And next week I can unclick it and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think that it is an option. So when we do the whole team competition, we're gonna update the whole front end. We're gonna update essentially everything. Not any of the core contracts, but just make the UI look better. Make it more the team airdropping more efficient and streamlined. And I will consider this. The reason why we haven't done it is because people. So typically with auto compounding, that's for a system where you're staking a token that allows you to earn another token, like a secondary token, and this secondary token can then be used to buy the initial token that you have staked, and then compound that back into your principal. So there's multiple tokens there that is used to auto compound. When you have an individual token that's compounding, I think it's it's I don't know. There's not as much of a use case for that, except for maybe convenience.
Yeah, that's really the only way I was thinking about it.
But it's not a bad idea. So the reason why we haven't done it is because we didn't want people to set off with auto compounding, not realizing that every time they do it, they're locking up those available rewards, and now that's in their principal that they now have to wait again for it to come out. And also, people that have relatively small accounts, they need to consider if 1% of their principal that they're making every day is worth compounding every day based on the gas price.
Fees.
So if they have $20 in their principal, and they're making 20 cents a day, but it costs 40 cents to do the compound, they would be draining their account. And some of them might just do it because it's convenient. They just say auto compound, and set it and forget it, and then they won't realize that they're kind of screwing themselves. So the reason why I didn't initially do it is because there wasn't that kind of use case that you would see with other auto compounding tokens, where it's taking a reward token, selling it, and using it to buy your stake token, and then auto compounding that back into your stake. So I also like that people that are staked have to be active in the platform. Right? If they want to be there compounding, earn that compound interest, they have to be actively doing it. So it's something that I have to consider. It's something that's certainly possible, but
you don't know if it makes sense.
And we've had a lot of people ask for it, so it's something that's possible, and we may do, but I'm not 100% sold on it.
Yeah, got you. You brought up some valid points with reasons as why not to do it, because it's really only for convenience for someone who doesn't want to take the 30 seconds it takes to go and compound it every day. So yeah, it makes sense for both sides, of course. So this is the last question I have. Very simple question, because if you go on CoinMarketCap and you type in drip, the price it shows on CoinMarketCap is different than if you go to the dashboard on drip.community. And it also does not have a market cap on there. And a lot of people ask me, what is the market cap, the current market cap of drip token as of right now?
So the current market cap of drip is off the top of my head, I would say something like 18 or 19 million dollars, something like that. That's not so. There's something called diluted market
Uh-huh.
cap and market cap. Market cap is circulating supply times price. So the circulating supply is um, something like something like maybe 150,000 tokens, something like that, and then you just multiply that times 80, right? But um, so that would take us to like 14 million or something market cap. Diluted market cap is a crazy high value, but it's kind of irrelevant because 90+% of those tokens are locked up anyways.
Yeah.
Uh, so I would go with the regular market cap, which
18.
is between like something between like 14 and 16 million dollars.
Mhm.
And the reason why the prices are different on on CoinMarketCap versus our website is because CoinMarketCap is pulling the price off of PancakeSwap, where the site on our website is from our native DEX. So there's two different liquidity pools.
Yeah.
And our native DEX has about $12 million on it, and PancakeSwap has about $15 million on it. And there's a 10% tax if you buy on PancakeSwap that you don't pay on our native DEX. So because of that tax, it makes there's a slight price difference because that tax is worked into the price of PancakeSwap
Yeah.
when it's being properly arbitrated. So it's a way that we've further decentralized the liquidity ownership. All of that liquidity on PancakeSwap is being provided by individuals, thousands of individuals, all putting a little bit into it. And then on our native DEX, we have the reservoir, which is a way that people can add liquidity on there as well. So we have hundreds, if not thousands, of people all adding liquidity and locking liquidity on there. So that's just the difference. It's that there's two different DEXs. CoinMarketCap is pulling off of PancakeSwap, and one of the main reasons why we added this liquidity or added incentive for people to add liquidity to PancakeSwap is because all of these analytics sites are pulling that off of PancakeSwap. And when we only had it on our native DEX, CoinMarketCap and all these sites were showing that we had no liquidity and our price was, way down or whatever. So we had people add liquidity to PancakeSwap, and now we're on DEX Tools and CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, all these sites, but it's going to be slightly different. And I would say when you want to buy, look where the best price is and take into account you'll pay a 10% tax on PancakeSwap, but there's a deeper liquidity pool there. And also when you sell, when you decide to take profit, you're probably better off doing it on PancakeSwap because that's where there is more liquidity.
All right, got it. So that is all the questions that I personally have. If there's anything else you want to say before we end it, of course, this has been very informative even for me. I'm excited for the different things that you were talking about before, especially about the NFTs and the Manor farm, of course, that's being released tomorrow.
Yep.
And just like the whole vision, I personally like the thought process that you have behind the project overall. So I'm just excited to see how far it can go. So anything else you want to say before we close this off?
Yeah, when will this be published?
This will actually be published today. So I'm gonna try. I want to get it out before the Manor farm comes out. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. Then I would say tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST, we're going to start the voice chat in our Telegram group. We're going to have a quick kind of hype session where I'm going to explain to everybody how the pre-sale is going to go. That will take 5-10 minutes. Then we'll start a short timer of 10 minutes. When that timer hits 0, we'll unpause the pre-sale contract and everybody will be able to buy at the pre-sale. The pre-sale is 10% under the listing price. It's going to sell out instantly. As soon as that pre-sale sells out, we're going to add liquidity onto PancakeSwap, and then we're going to open up the farm to allow people to start trading and staking. The price is only 10% higher when we list it. So if you don't get into the pre-sale, you're still getting an amazing rate but for buying on PancakeSwap. Now, like I said, we remove all incentive for selling the token, and we've added all of these kinds of cash flows. So I don't expect there to be any price correction at all in L1. I expect an insane moonshot, and then the migration over to L2. So people who get in there, as early as possible with as much capital as possible are going to get it at the best possible price. So I couldn't be more excited about it. I would say everybody should join the Telegram group, join the Discord, join the drip group, the Animal Farm group on Telegram, the Twitter, all of that. The Telegram is where we're the most active, so that's what I would say if you want to find some information. That's where you should go. You can ask questions. You can join the community. TheManor.farm is where we're having the pre-sale raise and the launch of the Yield Farm lending platform. And drip.community is where we have our drip platform. I'll send you these links when we get off here, and you can get that up. But I would say, just come check us out. We're really designing products that are changing the space, are making a more fair, better performing, more sustainable ecosystem in crypto. We're creating solutions for what we perceive as problems in this space, and we're also doing great things in the community as far as our community members are going out there doing food events where we're feeding different communities. We're working with a charity in Africa right now to build some wells out there, which goes perfect with our drip theming. So we have a ton going on, and I would say come check us out. Come to the website and the Telegram group, and come link up with us.
All right, bet. Well, thank you for sitting down with me for the past couple minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of explaining everything. Hopefully everybody was able to get something out of it.
We appreciate it so much. We love what you're doing. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, man. Enjoy your day. Make sure to send me those links as well.
I will. I'll send them right now. Thank you.
All right, bet. All right, but that's the end of the video. You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys were able to get something out of it. It was very informative. I'm glad he was not running around my questions. I asked pretty simple questions. Well, some of them were kind of complicated. He went too in-depth sometimes where I didn't understand what the heck this man was talking about because it was so complex. And I'm like, my God, just how much money am I making in 3 days? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. He went in depth. I'm glad that he was able to go in depth so we're able to understand it more. Let me know if you guys are able to understand it, if you guys feel better about the project. If you don't, let me know. If you hate the project, let me know. If you like the project, let me know. If you want to get into it, like I said, I made videos about it before. You can go and watch those videos, or there's videos all on YouTube to do it. You can use my buddy address if you want, or you can use somebody else's. It's really up to you. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get involved in this, I'm not saying you have to or you should. Not financial advisor. Just friends, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's really about it. Good luck on all your trades. Good luck on all your drip. Good luck on your. I be running out of things. Good luck on your video games, my guy. Good luck on life as a whole, and I'm seeing you on the next video.